Today I'd like to do some flashlight beam testing using the awesome Fenix LD60 Flashlight. It's a triple emitter flashlight. It has a maximum output of 2800 lumens, and what I'd like to do for this video is two different test scenarios. One to test the throw of the flashlight and the other to test the spread or the flood of it. And so we're going to be using the Lux meter. We'll also be using the definition of Civil Twilight as well as inverse square law for determining when we'll reach Civil Twilight for the various modes of this flashlight. So for this video I have a very special treat for you. Rather than just using the cones that I have placed right now for the various Civil Twilight distances, we're going to use a live action figure to actually shine the flashlight up against to see how well we can see it. So I kind of heard some rumbling back there. I think we have an actual zombie in the field here. Oh man, so he's right around the Civil Twilight distance on the eco setting. So let's go to the tabletop really quick. I'll show you what exactly we're going to do for this video. He's getting kind of close. I got to get out of here. The Fenix LD60 is a triple emitter flashlight. So you have three emitters that you see over there. You also have three battery wells. So you could have three 18650 batteries, or you could have 6 of the CR123 batteries. Each battery well is going to power one of the emitters. So technically you could only have one 18650 battery in there. It's just going to power one of the emitters in here. But you have a total of 3 wells. And then you go through all the modes using the side button clicky that you have over here. So you have eco, low, mid, high, and turbo. I'll be using a poorly lit soccer field for this testing. It measures 140 meters in length. There's some ambient lighting here by the tennis courts and by these buildings, but not too much. Along this wooded area that you see here, there's no light, so it's going to work perfect for the flashlight testing that I have planned for the Fenix LD60. For test number 1, we're going to be verifying the throw of the Fenix LD60 flashlight for all 5 modes: eco, low, mid, high, and turbo. And to do that, we're going to be calculating when each of these modes reaches the Civil Twilight Lux value of between 3.2 and 3.4 lux. Again, Civil Twilight is defined as when the geometric center of the sun is 6 degrees below the Earth's horizon. So if we're looking at the Earth's horizon here, and we're looking at the sun, it's just about to come up above the horizon and be daylight, it's going to be 6 degrees below that. That's going to provide just enough light for terrestrial objects to be distinguishable, so recognizing a man, your dog, even a zombie. And to check out what these distances are, we're going to be using inverse square law based off of some lux readings that we get at 1 meter's distance. For test number 2, we're going to be verifying the flood of the Fenix LD60 flashlight. This one's going to be a little bit different, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark off the field in increments of 25. So 25, 50, 75, 100. So then I'm going to go out with the lux meter to that distance, and then I'm going to see how far I could go out until I reach that Civil Twilight lux value of between 3.2 to 3.4 lux. When I reach that, I'm going to put a cone there and a cone there, and then I'll go up to the next distance. So to 50 meters, go out until I reach that Civil Twilight, put some cones, so on and so forth. And then what we'll do is we'll have the zombie go outside of that beam pattern that you'll see there, and then also within the beam pattern to see how he's illuminated when he's outside of the beam versus when he's within the beam based off of that Civil Twilight lux value. To capture all of my baseline lux readings, I have the lux meter attached to a wall, and then I have the Fenix LD60 flashlight at exactly 1 meter's distance from the sensor of that lux meter. And then the sensor is going to be at the center of the hotspot for the beam. So then I'm just going to capture the lux values for all 5 modes. So on eco mode at 30 lumens, we have a lux value of 583 at the center of the hotspot. On low mode, which is 160 lumens, we have 2,980 lux. On mid mode, which is 500 lumens, we have 10,250 lux. On high mode, which is 1500 lumens, we have 29,700 lux. And then finally turbo mode, which is 2800 lumens, we have 58,300 lux. Now turbo behaves a little bit differently than all of the other modes. Basically, right when you turn on turbo, you're going to immediately see that lux value start to decrease. So I imagine that's probably an overheat protection feature. I've seen that with other flashlights that are on turbo mode. So as soon as you turn turbo mode on, whatever that value is, it's just going to start decreasing immediately. Now that I have all of my baseline lux readings, I just put it into an inverse square law calculator to help me determine at what distance I would reach Civil Twilight at 3.2 to 3.4 lux. So for my starting distance, I put 1 meter, I put the lux value for the particular mode that I'm testing out, and then I just varied this ending distance until I reached that 3.2 to 3.4 calculated ending dose rate. And I did that with all 5 modes. I'll put all this information in the description box below if you want to see all the specifics. Fenix advertises that this flashlight has a maximum throw of 460 meters, which is almost 4 times the length of the soccer field that I'm going to be testing against. And that might be a little bit misleading. If you trust the laws of physics and you were to take that lux value that you captured on turbo mode and then used inverse square law and put the ending distance at 460 meters, you're going to have an ending dose rate of only 0.1 lux, which is basically pitch black. And at that distance, you're not going to be able to tell anything. So again, at 460 meters, maybe a lux meter might be able to see some kind of light, but the human eye is not going to be able to recognize anything. So that's why I think that Civil Twilight lux value of 3.2 to 3.4 is a much more accurate representation of what you're going to be able to see with this flashlight. And that's the whole point of having a flashlight anyway, right? Is just to see what the human eye could see, not really what a lux meter could see. So anytime that you see, this is kind of common with all manufacturers, anytime you see that maximum throw, you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt. Now that we got all those technical details out of the way, let's go back out to the field and begin test number 1 for verifying the throw. So let's do a little bit of Zombie Civil Twilight Illumination verification. Alright, so what I did is use the 1 meter lux reading distance for all 5 modes on the Fenix LD60 flashlight, and then we went on this field here and I placed several cones on the field, and each cone represents the minimum Civil Twilight lux value for each mode. So the first cone that you're going to see here is the Eco mode on the Fenix flashlight. The next one is going to be for low, then medium, high, and then turbo, and it goes all the way back to the end of the field. So rather than just point this flashlight at the cones, we're going to use our zombie friend over here, and we'll see how well we can see a zombie at Civil Twilight. So let's get started. All right, here we have the zombie at Civil Twilight at 13 meters on Eco. Here's the zombie at Civil Twilight on low. So this is 30 meters. Here's medium mode right at Civil Twilight at 55 meters. Definitely still see that zombie. Here's high mode at 92 meters. As you can see, he's way out there. And here's turbo mode at 130 meters at Civil Twilight calculated distance. He's way down there by the trees. I'm not sure if the camera will be able to pick him up, but I could definitely see him. Now let's see what that turbo mode looks like from the zombie's point of view. So as you probably guessed, the batteries do get very hot when it's on turbo mode. So what I like to do now is use this little non-contact thermometer, and we're going to see just how hot it is. So basically you just pull the trigger and aim it on the flashlight. Right now it's on turbo and you can see it's very hot. This will be very hot to touch. So you got 130 something degrees Fahrenheit as you go towards the handle. Even that's around 124 degrees Fahrenheit. So switching that over to Celsius, you got 52 degrees Celsius. So again, yeah, this flashlight gets very hot on turbo. Alright, so what I did is I went 25 meters, so 25, 50, 75, 100, went out there, and what we're going to be seeing is where the Civil Twilight is reached as far as the flood goes. So I went with the lux meter that you see here, that you can barely see, and I went to around the 3.2 to 3.4 range for each of the cones. So actually the beam pattern kind of looks like this. It kind of goes like that, and then it's going to go in. It's not just doing a flush out like you see in a lot of the graphics. So again, it's going to go out pretty strong like that, and then start to dip in towards the center of that hot spot there. So we're going to have the zombie at all of those distances to see when he's actually visible or illuminated at Civil Twilight. So right now the zombie's around 10 feet outside of the cone at Civil Twilight. Right now he's just reached Civil Twilight, so he's definitely visible in the beam. Alright, here we are again on turbo, and the zombie's at 50 meters. So right now he's around 3 meters outside of that outside cone. He should be coming to your sight right there at Civil Twilight. So now he's completely visible and illuminated. Alright, so here we are at 75 meters. The zombie's going to be coming into view. There he is. He just passed the cone for the Civil Twilight distance. So again, that's 75 meters. And here's the zombie at 100 meters, way in the center of the hot spot that you see there. That's going to do it for this video featuring the Fenix LD60 flashlight. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it, and it gave you a better idea of the actual throw and flood of this flashlight based off of Civil Twilight, inverse square law, and a few different measurements. Special thanks to our zombie who volunteered. Actually, we paid him. What did we pay you for this?
Brains!
So he was paid in brains, but he's starting to get a little agitated, so please feel free to leave any kind of comments below in the comments section. And yeah, I got to get out of here. See you guys. Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh jeez! Oh please no! I have a family!